Okay, very good morning. Today I came with a new topic. In the last two videos, we deals with Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem in the second module. And in this video, I deals with the third topic in your module 2, that is superposition theorem. Okay. So the statement for the superposition theorems is the current through or voltage across any element in a linear bilateral network is equal to the algebraic sum of the currents or voltages produced independently by each source. So what is actually this theorem says that is if there are more than one sources, the voltage or currents through a single element or any element is the algebraic sum of the uh, current or voltage produced by individual sources in the circuit. Right, algebraic sum means it will consider the direction also. Okay, so I will repeat the statement again. The current through or voltage across an element in a linear bilateral network is equal to the algebraic sum of the currents or voltages produced independently by each source. That is the superposition theorem. So to explain in the diagram, and that shows here there are two sources V1 and V2 and three resistors R1, R2 and RL. So when we are calculating the current through this load resistance RL, this current will be contributing this V1 and V2, right? So this total current will be the sum of these two currents I1 and I2. So when we are taking the total current, we take the algebraic sum, or we consider the direction also. If one is moving upward and one is moving downward, we will take the difference, or both are in the same direction, we will take the sum. Okay, so that is the actual meaning of superposition. Or next, superposition is used to find the current values in the circuit with more than one sources, or voltage values at some point having more than one voltage source or current source. Okay. So next thing is why we are going for this superposition. We have we have other methods, right? Already we studied KVL, KCL, and also the mesh and node analysis to find a voltage or current through a particular element, right? Then why we are going for this type of theorems? So this superposition is an easier method uh, when there is more than sources are available. Okay, so the superposition extend the use of Ohm's law to the circuit with multiple sources. When there is multiple sources, it will be easier to solve by using superposition theorem. Right. Superposition theorem is very helpful in determining the voltage across an element or current through a branch when the circuit contains multiple number of voltage sources or current sources. So where we are using the question where we are using the superposition is if you see multiple sources in the circuit, we can apply the superposition. Or when you have a choices of different methods, that mesh, node, whatever, if your question is to find the current through a particular element and the circuit contains more than one sources, it will be easier to use superposition theorem. Okay, superposition theorem is nothing but it will find the currents through the element by considering only one source at a time and adding all the currents through the element by using different sources currents. Okay. So there are some conditions to apply the superposition. The first one is the components must be linear. Linear means the current voltage relationship should be linear. And the second thing is it should be bilateral. Bilateral means the current direction in the forward direction and reverse direction having the same characteristics. Right. So the circuit should be linear and circuit should be bilateral. And the third condition, it should not contain any active elements. If it contain active elements, it will not be linear and bilateral. Right. So the condition for superposition is it should be linear and bilateral, and if there is any active components in the circuit, we cannot apply superposition. Active elements or active components means it include transistors, semiconductors, diodes, and electrons, tubes, etc. Such components are never bilateral or seldom linear. Okay, so these are the conditions where we have to apply the superposition. So keep in mind as a theory question. So next is procedure for applying superposition. So first we are considering the circuit contains only independent sources. Independent sources means it does not depends on any other values in the circuit. So here we consider the method to solve or find the values by using superposition in the circuit having only independent sources. So first we have to consider only one source active at a time, and all other or remove all other ideal voltage sources by short circuit and current sources by open circuit, right? So if there are two sources, we will consider only one source and others remove the effect of other source. In order to remove the effect of other source, if it is a voltage source, we will short it. If it is a current source, we will open it. Okay, that already we done in the Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. Similar like, so a voltage source can be replaced by a short circuit, and current source can be replaced by a open circuit. Okay, and if there are practical sources, replace them with a combination of ideal source and an internal resistance. Practical source means it will have some internal resistance. Of if there is a voltage source with an internal resistance, we will replace it with only with the internal resistance. Similar like if it is a current source with the internal resistance, the current source internal resistance will always come in parallel. Right, so we will replace the open the current source, and there will be a internal resistance parallel with this current source. Okay, I think you got the idea. So next is an example, simple example. Here the current through R3 have to find out, and here there are two sources V1 and V2. So the first step is we will consider only the V1. When we are considering V1, we will remove the effect of V2. That means we shorted here, V2 is removed, and then find the current through R3. In order to do that, what we have to do? Take the parallel combination of R2 and R3, and that will be added with this R1. Okay, so parallel combination of 20 ohm and 10 ohm, it will be almost 6.7, and that will be added with 100 ohm. So total resistance will be 106.7 ohm, right? So the total current, so we get an equivalent resistance as 106.7. So the circuit will be like that. So only single battery and one resistance like this. So the current through this will be IT, that is IT is equal to what, 15 by 106. So it is approximately 0.15 by 106.7, that is 0.101, right? And that the total current is 0.101. So here the incoming current is 0.101. So here the current will be divided I1 and I2. So in order to find the current through R3, you have to apply the current division, right? So when you are applying IR3 current division rule here, the total current, that is equal to I total, that is 0.141 into resistance of the other branch. So resistance of the other branch is 20. 20 divided by total resistance, 20 plus 10. Okay, so when you are simplifying this, you will get IR3 as 0.094. Okay, so when we are considering only the source 15 volt, we got the IR3 as 0.094 ampere. Okay, next we consider the second source V2. When we are considering the V2, we will short this V1, right? So similar procedure what we done in considering V1 is taking here this R1 and R3 become parallel and it will be added with the R2. So the R equivalent will be 29.09. So this R equivalent is finding out. If you have any doubt, please go through the calculation. R equivalent will be R2 plus R1 into R3 divided by R1 into R3. Okay. So that will be 29.09. Similar like the I total we get it as 13 by I total is equal to 13 by I R equivalent, that is 29.09. Okay, that is equal to 0.447 and IR3 here the I total come here, so that will be split into I1 and I2. So this IR3 we can find it as what I total into resistance of the other branch, that is 100 divided by 10 plus 100. Okay, so that value is this 0.406. Okay, so we got IR3 value as two values. When we are considering V1 we got one value, and when we are considering V2 we got another value. So next we apply the superposition. So this is the current direction. So when we are applying the superposition, what would be the total current? I total will be 0.1 plus 0.4, that is 0.5 ampere. Right. So here we are applying superposition. We got it as 0.5, and we can verify whether it's correct or not. So when we are doing normal analysis here, the voltage across R1 must be therefore 10 volt, because R3 value is 0.5 and here 10 ohm, here will be 5 volt here. So the remaining 10 volt come across R1, 10 volt R1, and the current through this will be IR1 will be 0.1 ampere and IR2 will be 0.4 because here 13 volt and here it is 5 volt. The remaining 13 minus 5 is 8 volt. So 8 by 20 we got it as 0.4 volt. So the total current will be 0.5 ampere will be flowing through the R3 resistance. So when we are doing by KCL also we got the same answer, and by using the superposition also we got the same answer, right? So next thing we consider another example with the circuit contains dependent sources also. So if there are dependent sources, neither short circuit nor open circuit the dependent source, leave them intact and as they are. Right, that is the important thing. Leave them intact and as they are. So not remove it or not short out or not open out. Okay. So whatever wherever the dependent source, keep them intact. Okay. Next question. Here a circuit shows dependent sources. Find I0 in the circuit shown below, and the circuit involves a dependent source and the current may be obtained as by using superposition. Right, here there are two independent source and one dependent source. So we will consider the first independent source first case and second independent source second case, and the dependent source keep them intact. Okay, so considering I0 dash is the current due to 4 ampere source and I0 double dash is the current due to 20 volt voltage source. Okay, so total current I0 will be I0 dash plus I0 double dash. That is the statement of superposition. So we can try to solve this. Here we consider three meshes I1, I2 and I3 mark, and here we consider the source 1 4 ampere first and short the second source as here 20 volt amp voltage source is shorted here, and mark three currents and apply the mesh equations. For loop 1 we got I1 as 4 ampere, and for loop 2 you apply the loop equation 3 into I2 minus I1 plus 2 I2 minus 4 I0 plus 1 into I2 minus I3 equal to 0. And next loop 3, that is here 5 into I3 minus I1 plus 1 into I3 minus I2 plus 5I0, that is the dependent voltage source, plus 4I3 is equal to 0. So here we got this I0 dash, that is the current through 5 ohm resistance due to 4 ampere, is equal to, that is this current will be I3 the downward direction, then since we are taking this as I1 and this as I2, so this current will be I1 minus I3. So this is I1 minus I3. So solving I1, I2 and I3, we can find out the value of I0. In order to solve this, you can use three equations and three unknowns. We can solve easily. The next thing, we open the 4 ampere source and take the 20 volt voltage source. So here it will be opened. Here only two meshes. For loop 4 and loop 5 we can take write the equations easily, and I0 dash is only the minus I5, because here we mark this I0 dash in this direction and this I5 is in this direction, so the both are in opposite direction, so we consider I0 dash is equal to minus I. I think you are familiar for writing the loop equation, so we can easily write these two equations. And solving in these two equations, here only two unknowns I4 and I5, we can solve it by using I0 dash is equal to minus 60 by 17 ampere. So the total current I0 is equal to I0 dash plus I0 double dash, so it is getting as minus 8 by 17 ampere. Okay. So next is superposition in AC circuit. It is nothing but it will have some capacitive impedance and inductive impedance, and the operations, arithmetic operations, will be taking place in complex. That is the difference. So here a parallel circuit and two sources are the E1 and E2 sinusoidal sources, XL1, XL2 and XC, and current through this 4 ohm resistance, that is XL2, we have to find out. So redraw the circuit is similar like the Z1, Z2 and Z3, and the Z1 is JXL1 and Z2 is JXL2 and Z3 is minus JXC. Okay, so these will be the impedances, capacitive impedance and inductive impedance. Inductive impedance is J 4 omega and capacitive impedance is minus J 3 omega. Okay, next is we will remove one source, and the circuit will be like this. So that here we remove the E2 and consider only E1. So when we are taking on E1 only, the circuit will be like this. These two will be parallel. Z2, Z3 will be parallel, and that will be in series with the Z1. So we got a Z1, Z2, Z3 divided by Z2 plus Z3 equivalent resistance as this. So when we are doing this arithmetic operation or the simplification, you can use your calculator in complex mode. So it can be easily find out the complex numbers in polar form, right? Try to do, or otherwise if you have any doubts, contact me. And the next is current. Find the current IS1, that is equal to voltage divided by total impedance. So E by Z plus Z2 parallel, Z1 plus Z2 parallel. So this IS1 we got it as this, and we have to find out this current through this Z2, right? That is the I dash. So current through current through Z2, in order to do that, do the current division. Current division means the total current we got it as this 1.25 ampere in angle 90 degree. So the current will be divided here, this and this. So this current we have to find out. In order to find that total current into resistance of other branch divide, not resistance, impedance of the other branch divided by total impedance. So the total current is IS1 into Z3 divided by Z2 plus Z3. So we got this value as the I dash. That is, I dash is the current due to E1 through Z2. So next thing, here we consider the second source, that is E2. We remove the effect of E1 by shorting out, and the similar way we can find out the short circuit current and I double dash. I think you can understand the steps. Next thing, we have to find out the current through 4 ohm or XL2. In the first case, the current direction is the from in downward, and the second case the current direction is from upward. So the total current will be I dash minus I double dash. Okay, so here the current direction is this way. In the previous case the current direction was in this way. So the I total I is I dash minus I double. So one thing you have to take care on calculating the current is make sure the directions are in same or different. If it is in same, you can add the currents, or if it is in different direction, you can take the difference. Okay, next is an example. You can do it as your practice the similar way that I discussed in the previous case. Here one current source and one voltage source, that is a difference. Okay, thank you.